Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Tuesday, January the 2nd, and the year is 2024. Let's talk trading. Happy New Year and weekly open and gap. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. And let's start the year off right, and let's continue this throughout the year. Let's not lose any more on any one single trade than we are willing to lose. If we do that one thing, we'll probably stay in the game, and we'll probably wind up profitable by this time next year. And that's the whole game. When you really think about it, is that, yes, at the end of the day, you want to be profitable, but chances are you might have a day or two where you lose. Same for the week and even possibly for the months, but for the year, big picture. And, actually probably should be profitable at the end of the month too. But we have to remember that trading is not a one occurrence deal, meaning, any one trade is not really important in the grand scheme of things, especially if you have your risk management in place. So keep that in mind this year. We'll take a look at the monthly. We can see that the pound went up into the previous month's wick zone, couldn't get out of it on the top side, but came through the bottom, crossed the monthly open, which is the same as the weekly and the daily. And you can see I think we actually went through into the lower wick zone and we popped out. For the week, we broke into the upper wick zone. We filled that open gap. And then it took off to the downside. I wasn't trading yesterday, but I did look at the chart, and I thought, it's probably going to go up and fill that gap, and it did. But you can see here, so far we have 1, 2 open gaps in the dashboard. And we're putting in that opening range here for the week. And prices snuck back into the launch pad, 2640, that launch pad area. But it's a red day, so chances are it's not going to launch. It did hit the launch pad when it on green up at 2740 and ran all the way up to 2759. So I would consider that a successful launch. And so for the year, month, week, and day, we're 80 pips above the open at the moment. We had an inside bar 4 days ago. Notice what happened. We've been out of both ends of that inside bar there. So once again, proving horizontal lines can be profitable. Notice we are inside the weekly inside bar from 2 weeks ago. We went up, almost touched the top, reversed off of that area, came to the bottom, almost touched that weekly inside bar low, and then returned. So I would imagine that we're going to go out on one side or the other. And the way things are looking, I think we're going to crack that 2611 at the bottom and continue down. And in fact, there is a H4 pivot down there that I'll show you when I get to those charts. Nice move to start the year, 140 pips. Haven't seen that in a while. Well, I think we did have a couple of this day, but this used to be a normal occurrence. It's now infrequent. And you can see here on that crossover on that open, weekly open the last time, yearly open, price just shot down. Actually, before the call, I had taken a long trade because I saw it bounced off of that lower area And I just took the signals as I saw them. And we're coming out of the green rat zone here, so green rats are ready to feast. And it's interesting that the old rat, it lined it up right here at 2640, which is the beginning of the launch pad. And notice it would be good for 2 pips at the moment, and so I wouldn't push it at this because once again, red day down into the launch pad. I don't look for huge returns unless there's news, of course. And then once again, trade what you see, not what you think. Because I think we might have talked about it last week, or maybe the week before, that, are you looking for or are you looking at? And so it's very subtle, but if you're looking for something, chances are you're going to find it. I mean, I can find lots of reasons to go short here. I can find lots of reasons to go long. But if I just look at it, and I use a simple method, such as candle color at the line, I'll just, take that trade and take what the market gives me. So you just had a second opportunity here to pick up a couple of pips because price went back to the 2640 and bounced. You can see here we're below S3 and actually hitting it on the pivot trading plan. Bambino flex indicator said to go long, and depending on when you took that trade, if you see here, you could have taken a profit here off the open, but then the pivot trading plan said near R1, near pivot point, bias is short. So, I'm thinking about something here. And what that is I've never thought about it this way. It says near R1, near the pivot, the bias is short. So everything up here, short. And from here, you say price at near S1. So somewhere between the pivot, the halfway point between the pivot and S1, your bias would be short, and below that halfway between the pivot and S1, the bias would be long. That's what I'm thinking. But it's just something to consider. And we have taken out the weekly pivot. We've taken out the monthly pivot. We've taken out the daily. And notice, let's see, where was that missing H4 pivot that got taken out? That one, I think it was this one, right? Nope, that one was taken out. Maybe it was on that other broker. And one of the reasons I went for a long trade was because I saw this missed H4 pivot. And see, that's interesting. On the other broker, there was a missed H4 pivot. And then there's this one here, 2583. Notice price dropped below the 40 just now. In and out of the upper wick zone and in and out of the lower wick zone. See here. Once again, price does not like staying in the wick zone. And the range so far is at 140 on the week. You can see it's probably going to put in more range here. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Simple price action chart here. Psychological levels, you can see we crossed the 25 even though it was a red candle on M30. It moved up and we're moving back up across the 40 once again. Indicator 2 though, it's all magenta. You can see it's just been down, down, down. Let's see, how many in a row is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 reds in a row. And you can see here on the smart range indicator, we've got some good movement. And there was a highest low off a 3-ball, good for 4 pips or more. If you had taken it down here. You know, one of the things I kind of realized about that lowest high, highest low, a lot of those market structure traders, they're going to be entering in this area here also, just from the nature. And so a lot of times, you know, you can see different things on the chart, use different methods, and they all put you at the same entry. I mean, you got the lowest high, highest low, you've got the you know, the lowest wick zone. And as I said, price doesn't like to launch when the daily candle's red. And once again, you know, failure to launch here. And so that's why you have to trade what you see, not what you think. Because if you're thinking it's going to launch, you can see how many failed attempts you had here. 1, 2, 3. 3 failed attempts to launch. And on this lowest high trade, you can notice here, sometimes it takes a while to get out of that area. So, you know, you go from one level of congestion down to another. So you had one here, created a new one here, and then price leaves that area. You can see area congestion, price leaves the area. Area congestion, price leaves the area. And so it'd be easy to get frustrated taking these trades, but sometimes you enter the trade, you put your stop loss in, so in this case under the 3-ball, and then you just sit back, and maybe sometimes you might even double in if you keep getting that signal. And then you just have faith in your method. So let's see. Once again, we're down, close minus open year to date. Big red candle on the day. So, fellow traders, I hope you had a fun and safe New Year's. Once again, I wish you a happy New Year, nice profitable New Year. And as you're trading this year, always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.